Okay, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty woods, a neighborly day for our beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in this neighborhood with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? Hello, television neighbors. I'm glad that we're visiting again in this television neighborhood today. See what I brought for you today? A toy elephant, a giant porpoise, and the Disney Rewards notebook. Now, before we visit our neighborhood authors, Robert Louis Stevenson, Jane Austen, Eric Hill, and
You made me the Twilight author.
Stephanie Myers. We have just enough time for some make believe before we go visit our neighborhood authors at their neighborhood book academy association clubhouse. So trolley Prince, why don't we just pretend that handyman Joe Negri has finally discovered that the fairy tale games are ready to begin, and XDL, King Friday, and Queen Sarah are ready to begin the fairy tale games, and they're really anxious to get the first round of the fairy tale games to get started, and they're really looking forward to make sure that they don't mess up any of their first round of the fairy tale games. So let's pretend that handyman Joe Negri is planning on getting the first challenge at the fairy tale games, and he's really looking forward to helping XDL and King Friday and Queen Sarah collect the first prize. So let's pretend all of that right now as the Trolley Prince still is on the trolley costume and is about ready to go into the neighborhood of make-believe. Ready to go, Trolley Prince? Okay. I think it's time for you to begin the first round of the fairy tale games, Handyman Joe Negri.
Well, X, I think you're right. I've been looking forward to this moment for weeks. All the training and preparation, and now let the games begin.
Now tell me, Handyman Negri, do you think we'll have the time for first place to win the fairy tale games?
Oh, absolutely. I don't see how anyone can beat us with all the work we've put into it. We're gonna get first place.
Hello, dear. It's Queen Sarah.
Oh, Queen Sarah, you just melt my heart, just laying eyes upon your beautiful face. How are you this fine morning?
I'm doing fine, dear. I've been so patient to see my husband and XDL win first trophy at the neighborhood fairy tale game.
Well, I certainly hope your husband wins first trophy because he is the king, you know.
Handyman Joe Negri, first place trophy giver, I presume?
Well, that's me, your highness. Are you ready to receive that first place trophy?
I am Handyman Joe Negri.
Okay, well, let's just hope that you win it.
I hope that this will all turn out the way we planned it.
Oh, it better, if your royal subjects know what's good for them. Huh. Nobody messes with King Friday.
And I hope that this will all turn out the way we planned it.
Oh, I'm sure it will, your highness.
And Trolley, we will begin the second final matches tomorrow, and we hope to see you again tomorrow soon. Goodbye, Trolley Prince. Wow, I hope that the second qualifying matches will go well in the second qualifying rounds. Well, we'll pretend more about that tomorrow. Right now, I would like you to meet some of the greatest authors in the world. So, let's go to our neighborhood book association clubhouse to meet the wonderful authors Robert Louis Stevenson, Stephanie Myers, Jane Austen, and Eric Hill at our neighborhood book association clubhouse. So come along. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Miss Jane Austen, Eric Hill, and of course Robert Louis Stevenson.
RLS.
How
They named a school after me, you know.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I would like all four of you to meet my television neighbor. This is Stephanie Myers, Miss Jane Austen, Eric Hill, and Robert Louis Stevenson.
Hello, television neighbor.
Hey. Hello.
Hi.
So, Miss Myers, when did you first write your book, Twilight?
Oh, I don't know. It was a really long time ago.
You must have been surprised when you first wrote your first book, Twilight.
Yeah, I didn't expect a lot of people to like vampires as much as I did.
Now, Jane Austen, when did you first write your first book, Pride and Prejudice?
In the 19th century.
During England, during the war?
During the Victorian era. The late Victorian era, yeah.
And how was that book?
Well, I enjoyed it. I thought it was important to show people how our pride and our prejudice can get in the way of good relations and love.
Now, were you ever happy when you first wrote your book, Pride and Prejudice?
Yes, I think it's a happy and hopeful book.
Now, Eric Hill, what gave you the idea to write your children's novel, Discover Spot?
Well, I was inspired as a kid because I used to read books all the time, and I decided one day I'd like to write one myself so that other kids can enjoy reading my creations.
And you want to write a book about a dog
Yes.
called Discover Spot. What it felt like when you wrote a book about a yellow dog called Discover Spot. What
Well,
it felt like.
it felt pretty good to release my first ever book because, well, it was my first ever book, and I wrote it about dogs that kids can enjoy because I know most kids enjoy playing and looking at dogs.
Now, Robert Louis Stevenson,
Yes, Victor.
what gave you the idea to write your first novel, Treasure Island?
Well, as a young boy, my buddy, my next door neighbor, Buddy Popovich, he and I would go down to the creek and we'd build a raft. And then we'd sail our raft down the creek, and it would only go about 100 yards or so before it got stuck on a sandbar in the middle of the creek. And we made believe that, you know, that was like an island. And we had all sorts of make-believe, and later in my life, I remembered all of that and said, that could be a good story.
And you also wrote in your book about a colorful villain called Captain Long John Silver.
Oh, that's correct, I did. That was Buddy's dad. He didn't want us playing in the creek and certainly didn't want us getting on a raft and going down the creek. And he came and caught us and punished us, and he was very mean, and he became the villain of my book.
What gave you the idea to write such a colorful villain like Long John Silver?
Well, as I said, he punished us and was quite mean to us. And so, you know, a young boy's imagination kind of gets carried away thinking, oh boy, this guy's a real villain. And so I just made him really villainous in my imagination and put it in the book.
Now, I have one last question to all four of you before I have to return back to my place. I suppose for you, all four of you fine writers, I suppose it might be interesting for all four of you fine writers to discover that you have written all sorts of wonderful and colorful ideas and make-believe characters in your novels about women and pets and vampires and pirates and all sorts of marvelous characters to give you ideas that you never thought possible. Is that true?
Well, you bet.
Well, I wrote about the people around me, so no make-believe there. Just a little liberty.
I mean, my book, I think that there is kind of a connection with humans, like the relationships the vampires built and the conflicts they had. There are similarities because they've lived in the human world for a while, and without realizing it, they also adapted some mannerisms too.
Well, I am grateful to all four of you fine writers for allowing me to spend my time here at this clubhouse, and I'm really grateful that I got the chance to meet all four of you beloved authors, and thank you very kindly. You just touched my heart, and I'm very touched by all four of you beloved writers, and thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Victor.
Our pleasure.
It was an honor meeting you.
Thank you.
Now I must go back to my place.
Bye.
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 Thank you, neighbor.
Let's go back to my place. You know, before I go television neighbors, I have a special song for you. I'm proud of you, I'm proud of you, I hope that you are proud as I am proud of you, I'm proud of you, I hope that you are proud of you too. And that's true. I am proud of you, television neighbors, and that's one way of saying that you are proud as I am, and that I'm deeply gratified to have you as my television neighbor, and we can always be television neighbors no matter how young we feel or different we get. We can still be proud as we are and still be proud of you and proud of me, and I could be proud of you and you could be proud of me, as well as I'm proud of 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 you. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day, it's such a good feeling. A very good feeling. The feeling you know that I'll be back when the week is new, and I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things you want to talk about. I will too. I'm very proud of you, television neighbors. I really am. And I'm proud of you too. And I'm proud to have you as my television friend. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.